Hello everyone. Happy Christmas week. How's it going? We are live for the second to last one of 2025. Yes. I'm pretty certain we've got one more on the books for 2025. We're not going to be going live on Christmas Eve, but we should have a live stream after, I think. It's like the Monday after Christmas Eve. Or Christmas. Pretty sure. So not long left. Not long left in 2025. Sag. Well, not really. Excited to see what the new year will bring? Are you guys excited for the next year? In terms of Warhammers. It's quite a lot of stuff I'm imagining being on the way. Lots and lots and lots of cool stuff. We shall see though. We shall find out together, I'm sure, in the coming days and weeks. So yeah, today I'm going to be using today's stream as an opportunity to effectively finish off a number of bases. Got a lot of them to do. Because I've made a grave error in judgment, which was to leave it all to the last minute. If I pop across to this screen, you'll see what I mean. This is how much basing we've got to do. But I wanted to do this live with all of you because the most important thing is that this number will now read as 600. Boom. We've done it. 600 all done. So over the weekend we painted up 10 Rangers of Mirkwood, 10 Palace Guard, 5 Armoured Warriors, the 2 Knights, and we painted up Legolas and Tauriel, who are over here. So we did that over the last sort of period of the last week slash weekend, which is pretty good going, to be honest. So what we now need to do is base it all, which we've done. We've put all of the Sterling mud on. So it's basically just going to be dry brushing. A ton of dry brushing. And some tufts and some rims. But yeah, look at that. It's not a bad effort, is it really? For December. Not a bad effort at all. So coming to your channel near you, this one specifically, in the future, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos. 6 whole videos. We have an Orc Big Mech, we have Lieutenant Titus, we have the Green Knight, we have a Hermetic Blade Sorcerer, we have the Last Alliance of Elves and Men, starring Elrond, Gilgalad, Abana, Isildur, Elendil, Warriors of Numenor, Warriors of Rivendell, all that good stuff. Then for the Halls of Thranduil, for those fans of Mirkwood out there, we have Legolas, Tauriel, Mirkwood Knights, Mirkwood Rangers, Armoured Elves, Mirkwood Armoured Elves Warband is what it's called. It's a really annoying name. And Mirkwood Palace Guard. A ton of stuff. The only thing we haven't really done anything of here is Age of Sigmar, which I realised the other day, which made me sad. But that's because the focus clearly for the last month has been Lord of the Rings and 40k and a little bit of Old World. That's pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool. So yeah, got a lot of stuff to do. But first, let's jump into the chat and say hello to everybody. Hello, everybody. I am here. And you're all here. So thank you very much for being here, spending your last Monday before Christmas with me. That's very, very nice. Very kind of you. If you could please leave a like on the stream, that would be really, really nice of you to do. It's a wonderful way to support the channel for free. By liking the stream. It means more people find the stream, perhaps. So yeah. I'm super new to Warhammer, September. Painted up my starter set, middle one. Love your videos, super great tutorials. Well, thank you very much, Stanton Luke. Welcome to Warhammer. Welcome. John Grant. Hello, first time tuning in. Hello to you. First time welcoming you in. Nice to see you. So yeah. I might descend slightly into madness doing this. And we are definitely going to ruin a dry brush, that's for sure. No question in my mind that that's about to happen. But yes. Good lord. This was a foolish thing for me to do. To leave it all to the last minute. But you know. You guys don't follow me for my sensibilities and my and my critical thinking skills. No. Hello, diggers. Hello, Britters. Hello, Mark. Sly Guy. Swarm. JPMSW. Hello. Yun Yune. Pip242. Tattoo Zoologist. And the Colonel himself. Hello, hello. How are we? Good lord. Right, I think actually maybe the best thing to do is just to start with like the few little bits of basing material that are already on there. So stuff like Titus has got some rocks that he's standing on. So we all know what that means. We know that means we need some Black Templar. See, there's his rock upon which he stands. Just under there. So we take Black Templar and away we go. And we're off on the great basing extravaganza to conclude 2025. Almost. Still a little bit of time. I've still got a few things left to do. I'm not going to be doing much painting, but I am going to be doing a lot of building, a bit of testing, a bit of priming, a lot of editing. What have you guys got left between now and the 31st? Or perhaps you're not that sort of time-based, goal-oriented. One done. Get me to finish all my Space Wolves, then it means the new year I can start on my Krieg and my Rohan. Lovely. That's what I love to hear. I realised, as a consequence of having done Mirkwood and now Lorien as not Lorien, Linden as well, basically. I basically have, we talked about it 6 to 8 months ago, something like that, about doing a video that was basically just the elves of Middle Earth and just carrying it all like that. And then that's now turned into 3 videos, basically, and I was like, well, hold on. There's a video here that we are clearly missing from all of this elvish goodness, which is that of Lothlorien. And so I'm like, how do I conquer the Middle Earth painting space? Do I continue painting on a list by list basis, or do I do it on a race by race basis, maybe? You know, do we just roll straight in to do I just roll straight into doing Lothlorien after this, or what? But the reason I say that is because naturally there's a video to be made about all the orcs and goblins and stuff, which would still be like what am I trying to say? It would still be like Moria, Mordor, Isengard, and so on and so forth. Kirith Ungol as well. That's another option. I just don't know, guys. Just don't know. Need a little bit of Militarum green now, because Isildur has got some of that horrible sculpted grass on his back, on his horse's back foot. And my goodness me, this model is metal. It's very heavy. Got to be careful not to drop this, because it will literally shatter anything that's underneath it. Although the same could be said of the Green Knight as well. That is a heavy model. If anyone's built the Green Knight, that is a chunker. There we go. Right. Does anyone else have any basing material other than Legolas and Tauriel? No, they've just got their trees that they're standing upon. I have the Thorns of the Briar Queen to build for an attempt at contrast painting. Ooh, nice. That's the Nighthaunt one, right? See you later, tattooed zoologist. Did you ever paint the last edition of Blood Bowl with the Orc team? I did not. I was not sent it. That might have been a bit before my time in the GW partner program. Wildwood. Yeah. Alright, let's put some wildwood over the top of some trees. There she is. There's Tauriel. Man, sometimes just applying something like wildwood over the top of a tree is just so satisfying. So watch it just go on there and be like, yep, I'm done. Wait for me to dry and then dry brush me and call me tree. I was already calling you tree, because you are a tree. Big old branch right there. I think we got it all. Not quite. There we go. Now we got it all. Cool. One tree down. What we got? All the Underworlds minis going for a second run on some warbands, but using Contrast Plus. I love it. I love to hear it. And you love to see it. Be interesting to see what comes out for Warhammer Underworlds next year. As far as I'm aware, we don't know what the lineup of battle tomes is for next year. Do we? Have they, or have they previewed? Not previewed, but have they given us a time? I can't remember where we are on those sort of not really roadmaps. I know what's left to come out. In terms of this edition, but I don't know what's first. I mean, probably Maggot King of Nurgle, right? Given as they're getting a ton of new models that we've seen previewed. Old Festus the Leech Lord and all that. But who's after that? Who knows? Oh no, we did have that preview of those models, didn't we? So maybe Ogre Moor Tribes is a thing that's actually happening. And Fire Slayers was the other one that was on that list, I think. Or that sort of grid of small previews. Can't remember what the fourth one was. There were 4. Can anyone else remember? Using your Neurolictor guide to paint up a mini for my 40k group's Secret Santa right now. Nice. Good old Tyranids. Hopefully Games Workshop sends me the... what was it? It was the Tyranid Prime, wasn't it? That was what they previewed. Was it Tyranid Prime? Can't remember. I really ought to finish off a Leviathan army in this edition. You know? Someone's got to. And there is, of course, a couple of Tyranid videos that we didn't manage to get done at the time. You know, the Lictor, he's one. The Biovore, or / Pyrovore. Gene Stealers, and the other Gaunts that I haven't done. Termagants? Or Hormagaunts? Hormagaunts. OBR was the other. Ah, was it? I suppose they are the only Death faction that hasn't come out yet. It's true. It's a stretch for me because I painted nothing but Blood Angels for my entire 40k painting experience. And are you enjoying not painting Blood Angels? It took me a while to enjoy not painting Blood Angels. But we wouldn't be where we are now if all we'd done is paint Blood Angels. For the last 6 years. I've done some planning as well, ladies and gentlemen, for the airbrushing stuff. I know who my victims will be. And you'll be pleased to hear that the vast majority of people will not care if I do a terrible job. Now, Now, where is my tyrant skull? Ah, there you are. Bard's family. No, I'm not learning to airbrush on MESBG miniatures that are small MESBG miniatures. You joking? I decided to learn airbrushing on hard mode. No, we're in 40k land. It's something I have masses of, and it's also not Space Marines. Hello, go for it painting. Warlord Titan. No, we will paint the Warlord Titan with a hairy stick. Come on, got to show off. Got to show off our contrast painting skills. Painting a Warlord Titan with an airbrush, that's easy mode, you know? Apparently. 2,000 points of Calgar. just the Calgar miniature over and over again. 10 Gravis armored ones. That would be funny. It'd be a complete waste of Gravis armored Calgars. 3 down. Oh, and all credit to you, sir. I won the Space Marine 2 Blood Angel Guild end of year painting contest for my 10-man scout squad. Ah, that's nothing to do with me, sir. That's all to do with you. I haven't got a video on Blood Angel Scouts. You had the power within you all along. You maybe just borrowed my red recipe and that was it. The Guard. No. I have a Guard army. I have a Guard army that I'm not now going to suddenly switch to airbrushing because it'll look terrible. My Guard army is mostly finished. The only thing left is a Baneblade and a Rogel Dawn to do for it. So yeah, it's not anything that I already have a significant collection of that I'll be just suddenly changing to airbrushing. Because that's not, you know. That's not going to make me happy, having this subsection of models that look like garbage. Next to the rest of it. And that's not because I think airbrushing looks garbage, it's because I know I'm going to be really bad at it. Spray paint 1,000 Snotlings / Gretchens, I believe. It's no, we're not. No. Learned everything from painting Blood Angels from you. Well, that's very kind of you. Congratulations on your award for winning. That's very cool. I do very much like it when you guys have lots of painting success as a consequence of any advice I may have given in any video or live stream. That's very nice for me. Do you know what one of my favourite things was? Is I went to an event a couple of years ago now, 3-4 years ago. It's quite a small thing. Anyway, I came second in a best painted army thing that was going on. And the person who won had a Blood Angels army, similar, painted using my videos. And they beat me. And I was like, you might as well just take over the channel, bro. Clearly, I'm doing something wrong here. It was very funny. Alright, Green Knight time. I actually haven't counted how many models I'm supposed to be doing right now. Should probably do that. Hello, Will. Will, thank you very much for being a member for 30 months. That's very kind of you. Never caught you live before. Thanks so much for all your videos. My Slave to Darkness all follow your guides and came out better than I thought I could manage. Yeah, so you had the power all along inside you as well, Keaton Fox. But welcome. Welcome live for the first time. Right, how many of these buggers have we got to do? There's 10, 11, 21... 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Oh, God. Well, we've done 11. I'm gonna give you a Warhipster top tip, right? This is what people come to the live streams for, right? Never get this anywhere else. Guys, for the love of God, don't leave 60 models to be based all at once if you value your sanity. Just don't do it. You'll regret it. Like I am. Yeah, I mean, best case scenario, we're going to get it all dry brushed today at least. What paint would you say is the same colour as Stellar Mud? I want to use your basic scheme but can't afford to spend hundreds on those teeny tiny texture pots. You can probably find a bigger one from somewhere. I know Vallejo does them. There isn't really an analogous paint for it, unfortunately. You probably could just paint the base with something like Thondia brown and then shade it with Nuln Oil. That could work. I will say, 1/2 pot of there's still a load of it left in the pot. I only used about 1/2 pot of Sterling Mud to do all of this. They go significantly further than I think I sometimes realise. Depends on what you're basing. If you're basing like loads of like, I don't know, 3 tau. If you're doing 3 tau Riptides, you'll go through a lot of it. But I have found that these pots last a bit longer than perhaps you normally expect them to. But yeah, no, there isn't really an analogous paint for it, especially in contrast paint. I've tried them all. I've tried Garagax, I've tried Wildwood, I've tried Cygor Brown, and then none of them are quite right. That's why like the dry brush generally hides a lot of like the inconsistency in the tone. If it's slightly off between the two. So yeah, it's slightly annoying in that regard, but yeah, the other thing that you can do is like I said, I'm pretty sure Vallejo does. In fact, I've got one somewhere. Yeah, I do. Yeah, Vallejo does this thick mud. It's basically the same. It's just got lots of like long stringy bits in it, which is really annoying. It's basically the same. As an example, that's one. And I know there are other providers, but I'm not going to name them by name. What kind of varnish do you use? I don't. Don't use any varnish. Don't need to. Can you try me? Try using you on a base. Basing stuff with Reza. Now, I have many questions about how that works, Rez. Is that just me, like just sort of laying you across them and then gluing my models to you? Or is that you producing some form of texture? Because that's not the kind of mud I'm after, you know? Mud, you say? For what? I was asking a question. How about Dryad Bark plus Agrax plus Dry Brush? Dryad Bark is... it's almost there. It doesn't have the same warmth to it. Dryad Bark is a very cold brown. Mornfang is too red. Thondia is not quite right either. Again, it's just slightly too red. Rhinox Hide is not the right colour either. Dryad might work. Agrax might put a little bit too much brown into it. Put Dryad on the heater. It will be a warm brown then. Yeah, good point. Its colour temperature will remain the same though. It's worth playing around with it. To be honest, like I said, often the Tyrant Skull dry brush just kind of completes the look anyway. So realistically, it's whatever brown tone you kind of prefer. The Tyrant Skull is gonna change its makeup anyway. These days I tend to just put Sterling mud over the top of any of the sculpted soil that Games Workshop puts onto their bases. Because I've just found that to be quicker, and it's just, you know, if you haven't used any brown in the model, then it's one less paint for the paint list. But also, it's helped me with, like, if I do Armageddon Dust, for example, there isn't a good analogous bone for Armageddon Dust either. And the same kind of goes for Astro Granite too, which are the three that I use. Because I don't really use Agrellan. And I don't really use Martian stuff either. I might nearly be out of a pot of Tyrant Skull. Can you believe that? Just finished painting Ed Mark from your tutorial. Painting the inside of the shield and the skeleton horde on the cape were nightmares. Lamy and Medium saved me from so many skeleton horde streaks. Well done for getting it done. Is there any way I could show you my finished result? If you're in the Discord, you could pop it in the Discord. And if you're not in the Discord, you could become a member of the channel and get into the Discord. And if you don't want to do that, you can ask somebody in the chat to try and gift you a membership to come into the Discord. That's a way of getting me to look at your model. You haven't used brown on these? Oh, no, no. There is so much brown on this table right now. Are we even halfway yet? 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. No! On to the next one. One. Death Card Tyrant, thank you very much for becoming a member. The Patreon and YouTube memberships don't cross-contaminate, do they? What do you mean? I mean, you could become a Patreon instead, but we're on YouTube. I noticed something the other night, Haleth, was Son of Hammer. All three of the lists you were talking to me about, all three of them, Halls of Thranduil, the White Council, and Thorin's Company. What is it with you and brown on brown on brown on brown on brown? Is brown your favourite colour? It's okay if it is. It's just, I was like, there's a lot, that's a lot of brown there. It made me laugh because it was like, look, I know you've painted 3 Elrons, but would you like to paint brown Elrond? No. And then it made me think, why is The Hobbit so brown? Why is everything brown in it? And then I realised it's because they colour graded it blue. So that makes everything look grey. Somehow. And it's like, oh, God. Imagine if they hadn't colour graded it. It would just look like everyone was wandering around in brown clothes all the time. 5. Your tutorials have improved my painting skills so much. You easily deserve it. My Archaon, the Everchosen, won 2nd place at my local Warhammer Shops painting competition, all from your video. Congratulations. Well done. That is not an easy model to paint. I'm assuming we're talking Archaon on Dorgar rather than Archaon on horse. Unfortunately, don't have a video on that one. And I foolishly did not buy it when it came on made to order. I really should have done. Is it available now as part of, but like not as Archaon? No, it can't be, right? Because he's not in Old World. I'm sure it's not. Justice for Brown Rond. He doesn't need any justice. You should have stayed dead. Cool. Get to see Elrond do some karate. A 2-hour plus video. Well, that's as long as it takes to film that. As you know, having painted Archaon, the Everchosen, it takes a little longer than 2 hours to put it together. I think when I recorded that, I had about 4 hours worth of footage. Because I just kept... It was one of those days where I just kept accidentally letting the camera run. And I was like, what am I doing? Literally just applying endless black. It's been a while since we've had a 2-hour long epic. I've had some that have sort of felt like they were going to be and then just weren't. Nine. This is such a mechanical job. 10. Okay, where are we at? $12, $13, $14, $24, $25, $26, $27, $28, $29, $30. Ugh! Can we get 30 likes on the stream for 30 more models? My powers of motivation are slowly slipping away. Tell you what, this weekend, man. Powered up. Like never before to get this video done. I say like never before. We've gone at that pace before, but like there's something about painting MESBG miniatures, right? That like even like the characters, no matter how like complicated they might look, they still always just seem to take a lot less time than a 40k or an AOS one. And it might be something to do with the scale, of course. You're not having to apply as much paint because you've got a much smaller surface area. But you know, I was doing Legolas last night. I was like, God, he's so simple. You know. Such an easy color scheme. How many of you think I can convince you to start painting MESBG? I'm kind of scared to paint up the water jug lady next. How do I stop the Seraphim Sepia from streaking? Are you using reformulated or old Seraphim Sepia? That's the big question. I feel like a lot of people are still using up old pots of Seraphim Sepia because it's not often a colour that comes up. If you're using old Seraphim Sepia, there's pretty much nothing you can do. If you're using new Seraphim Sepia, you've got to treat it like a contrast paint. You've got to apply it in the same way. You can't just hammer it on. And so what you've got to do is you've got to split the model up into sections. And with her, she's got a really nice flowing robe. Right? So the recesses become your sections. So by simply doing a simple fold in the cloak, and just making sure that that bit's done, if you finish your kind of brush load into the recesses in the flowing nature of that dress, she's not that bad to do. Top to bottom, keep it steady. You'll have to work hard to convince me. What am I trying to convince you of? Let's go for the Rivendell. 1. I have to work hard to convince you to paint MESBG. I see. Oh, I see. I remember now. Context. I want to paint Azog next, if I have the time over on Christmas. Sounds good. The Pale Orc himself. How high on the MESBG priority list is the 3 Hunters box? I've got it. It's here. When I eventually get around to doing the Grey Company, so it will be them, Halbarad, and the Rangers of the North. And I think I'm probably going to pick up Eladan and Elra here as well, because I can use them in a Rivendell list. Not that I would use them in the Grey Company idea that I have, but yeah, I think I've got like 12, possibly 18 Rangers of the North. But I mean, I probably need to at some point do Arathorn's Last Stand, Arathorn's Stand or whatever it's called. I think that's just Arathorn's Stand is the name of the list, and do Arathorn and Halbarad without the banner as well. So, yeah. I've got Darkwater and 2 40k Christmas boxes to do, so I can't start painting anything else. I'm going to work on you guys over the next year. I'll show you how cool it is to do MESBG by doing a lot of it, hopefully, over the course of the next year. I'm currently painting the Khorne Demon Prince and got Fulgrim Transfigured and Be'lakor to do after. How were they to paint? Be'lakor, God, that was a long time ago. Be'lakor was good fun. Fulgrim Transfigured less so, because he's a giant resin unwieldy nightmare. Satisfying final result to have him done. But yeah, the giant resin unwieldy nightmare was exactly that. How can I check my Seraphim is reformulated? I'm 99% sure it is because it used on Marshall Drone worked exactly the same as your one did. Then it probably is. If it's in an 18mm pot, it'll be the new one. If it's in the old 24mm size, then it's the old one. Oh. Painting the dark water minis right now following your recipes. Vacation. Superb results and enjoying the process a lot. Ah, that sounds great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's a bit of a blur for me now doing dark water, but I know that I had fun. I was glad it was over. Don't get me wrong, but it was good. It was good times. Good times had by moi. That's exactly the list I use. Oh, 3 hunters. Hello everyone, happy Monday and Merry Christmas. Looking forward to having more than one day off for the first time in almost 9 months. Darkwater is on my agenda for the next 5 days. Ooh. 5 days of fun in the Jade Abbey. Also, hello Travis. Hope you're doing well. Sad for the King of the Dead. There are dashed my hopes. No, he's on the list of his own accord, really. Doing the Army of the Dead, doing an Army of the Dead video is really difficult because it's basically 2 paints, so it's like, what's the point? So I have to figure out a number of other ways to paint them in the same list that look like they work together. Is basically the idea. 3 paints, because you could just spray them white, throw Briar Queen Chill over them, throw a bit of Poxwalker, then dry brush them white, and then you're done. It's like you can't make a video out of that. The intro and the outro will be longer than the actual painting content. King has 3 colours. You've got red too. Oh yeah, well you don't use red. You use Berserker Bloodshade. Because if you throw in a blocky red, it'll look solid. It won't look ethereal. And you just do that after you've done Briar Queen Chill and stuff like that. Good day, sir. We just got a new local gaming store and they will be having tables for us to play war games on. I am super excited for our community expanding. That is cool. That's very cool. What's the name of your new hobby shop? What happens if you accidentally completely bugger up a model, especially if you got it earlier than most? Do you just get another or strip and respray? In my case, if that happened, I would strip and respray it. Or just correct it in the video. Depends on what the complete buggering up entails. What are you envisioning is a complete bugger up. But it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened really to me. There's only been a couple of instances where I've done some stuff where the primer job was really bad, and that wasn't when I got it sent by Games Workshop. It was Techless. I buggered up the priming job on him, and the Shining Spears as well. I did a really bad job of the priming on them as well. I am well and still alive. Well, that's really all we can hope for, isn't it? And it's the bare minimum. So that's good. Whew. 1. Took me 3 hours to put together the Dark Waters box set. I am honestly not a fan of the materials used on the heroes. As in the plastic. Three hours, that's really quick. It took me a lot longer than that to put mine together. You're a building savant. Takes me hours to build anything, really. I mean, you see how long it takes me to build things when I do the sprue reviews. Oh, how many are left? Less than 20. That's the main thing. I don't think we're going to get 20 lots of tufts done, or 50 lots of tufts done in an hour, but we can try. We definitely won't get the rims done as well. It's basically a case of, are we going to get the rims or the tufting done, and I suspect we'll do the tufts. Give myself repetitive strain injury using the tweezers, and then come back and do the rims after dinner. It's probably what I have in store for me this evening. Did the little thing arrive? Yes, thank you very much. I received your card. It's very kind of you, thank you. Merry Christmas to you and the family, of course, as well. Also, hello, Sean. I have followed your guides for current resin Primarchs. They were great, thank you. I know there are a lot more manageable to hold, just waiting for the remaining ones. Any in line to be done soon? Depending on how I feel after Christmas, there is a possibility. We've got 3 in the house. So we've got Gilliman, Mortarion, and Perturabo. Depending on how I feel after Christmas, I might come back and do one. I equally might not. You know, Josh has to sleep sometime. You know. Oh. The heroes had a few bits already broken off. Yeah, mine. I had that problem. My Drolf Ironhead. He, well, as you know from the sprue review, he was his pack and axe component was snapped. But I've seen a number of people say that their mileage has varied with that, as is often the case. YouTube won't let me increase the playback speed. I'm now upset. Thought I had found a time travel loophole. I had it the other day where I was watching, I think it was Little Aggie. And I wanted to just see, like, the previous, like, 20 minutes of him beating a boss. So I wound back, but I put it into 2 times play speed. And it caught up with the stream, and, like, the sound stayed in 2 times play speed. But, like, obviously, time travel isn't a thing. So, like, what was on screen before me was just normal pace. It was really strange. It's very funny. But yes, thank you very much, Sean, for the card. It was very, very nice. It's a very pretty card. Guardian Games. It's from a chain store out of Portland, Oregon. Nice. What's the wargaming scene like in Portland? Is it good? Or is it slowly building? You made it! That's very impressive. It's called Iris Folding. That's really cool. You. Talented painting. Talented card making. Is there anything you can't do, Sean? The time Josh sleeps. Morning. Yes, it is in the morning when I usually sleep. However, I would like to, over Christmas, sleep like a normal person during the night. Which I fully intend to do. It's going to be magical. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be so well rested. Guys aren't going to recognize me when I come back. Would you say you feel more satisfied finishing a resin model like a Primark or a big plastic model like Scarbrand, etc., or does it just depend on the model? Depends on the model, honestly. Like, yeah, it really just depends on the model. Finishing off a big resin model kind of feels more like I'm relieved that's done. It's not like a sense of feeling accomplished. It's more just like, oh, thank God that's over, because like the building of resin stresses me out, and like painting it stresses me out as well, because it's never as highly detailed as those kits can be. There's just something about them where it's like, it's just not as nice as like a lovely sort of rounded plastic model. GameX, thank you very much for the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. You're an absolute bloody legend. These are our first gifted memberships of the week. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Now a mere 45 away from our goal of 50. Merry Christmas, Josh. Merry Christmas to you, GameX. Thank you very, very, very much. My town in Eastern WA. I have no idea what that's an acronym for. Has a very active community. That's awesome. I'm sad we didn't get the deleted scene with Gil-galad getting choked out and neck snapped by Sauron in the prologue. I want to see the Elendil versus Sauron badassery. I feel like that is a scene that would land really well if there was any context for it whatsoever. But to have that happen in the first 5 minutes of the film is, I think, unnecessarily brutal to just be like, oh yeah, boom. I think it would create an air of anxiety around, if you weren't aware of the story, I think it would create an air of anxiety around what the film was going to be about. So whilst I do agree it would be nice to see that something like that sort of happen on camera, it would be actually just really nice to have a really high quality TV show where we get sort of more context as to who those people are. And I'm not talking about Rings of Power, although Rings of Power is the type of show that could do it if it wasn't, you know, Rings of Power. Which I will clarify, I don't hate Rings of Power. I think if it was named anything else other than Rings of Power and wasn't based in Tolkien's universe, it would be a really good show, but it is, so therefore there is a level of criticism that can be levelled at the show. When it makes some strange choices. We won't be talking then. Oh, we will cross over, I'm sure. Just, you know, I'll be asleep before 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Play Warhammer. That's the one thing you can't do, is it, Sean? Yeah, well, you're just going to go and crush it next year, aren't you, surely? Well, then you're just going to mess your schedule. Yeah, probably. But it's a wise thing to do to look after myself for a little bit. Bruni, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Happy Christmas. A happy Christmas to you too, sir. You said high quality, so we knew it wasn't Rings of Power. Should be anxious in that prologue to show the actual expected heroes of that final battle being decimated. I do get what you're saying. The thing is, like, I often like to recall, like, compare the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy together, right? And I think what the Lord of the Rings trilogy does a really good job of is it just exposition dumps you right at the beginning. It just tells you everything that you need to know, but it does it really efficiently. And it doesn't have, like, it's just like it's racing to get the information to you so that you have the context for what's going on screen. Whereas what The Hobbit does is it spends a lot of time explaining everything, and then they explain it again, and then they explain it again, and then they explain it again. They keep doing it, they keep going back to it, and then they just got these long periods where they're like, hey, now it's time for exposition jump. And it doesn't do as good a job of summarizing the story. So I feel like there is a universe where Lord of the Rings was made in a similar way, where it flashes back to that battle, because Elrond's like, I remember the High King. You know, when, let's say, Frodo and Sam make it to Rivendell, and Sam says, he's the king of the elves, and then Elrond goes, oh, I'm not the king, Sam. I remember the king. And then spends 20 minutes describing the battle, where you then go, oh yeah, here's the king. He was really important. He was really cool. And I also remember Elendil. He's the great-great-great-great-grandfather of your mate Strider. They were both there. And then guess what? They were both killed. And you're like, yeah, can we get on with the film, please? See what I mean? Do you know when the Kelpies video goes out yet? Tomorrow. It goes out tomorrow. What has been the most frustrating model/unit to paint this year, and why? Doom Diver Catapult, because it was awful to build. That was this year, wasn't it? I think that was this year. Pretty sure that was this year. You're in the Discord now, aren't you? Death Guard Tyrant. Have you dropped your model for me to see? If you pop it and show off your stuff. Yeah, there you go. First step into Darkwater. Whoa. That looks cracking. Well done. Couldn't have done it better myself. Done a really good job of those eyes. They look great. That's not easy to do inside the helmet. It's quite a sunken back helmet as well. Well done. Well done, you. Great stuff. Yeah, Maya Kelpies and Treasures is tomorrow. It will be coming tomorrow. 7:30 PM GMT. Tomorrow is in Boxing Day. I was wrong. Boxing Day is the day after Christmas, where we all compare the size of our boxes, and whoever has the biggest and fanciest box wins a prize of getting to clear up everybody else's boxes. Any chance it can go on Patreon early so I can paint them at work tomorrow? Well, I need to edit it, so by the time it's edited, it'll be like 10 minutes. So I haven't edited the video yet. I'll be editing it tomorrow, though. It's just an extra line or two in the prologue with that scene, not a flashback. No, I get what you're saying. I think that description of Boxing Day is both wrong and more dirty than you intended. You could read into it whatever you like. That is your choice. Alright, let's get some tufting on the go. Tiny light? No. Tiny beige? No. Tiny dry? Yes. Do we have one of those on the go? I'm sure we do. Ow. There goes my back. Lovely. Tiny dark moss? No. Dark moss 2. Tiny dry? Yes, we do. Burned 2. Beige. Tiny beige. Winter. Green. Brown. Copper brown. No, I think we're good. Alrighty. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have this many miniatures, do not leave them all to the last minute to be based. You will be very sad at your life choices if you do that. Just like I am. I'm gonna use so many tufts. 1. As resin is more stressful, have you got any plans for Kairos? Think he's the only big demon you got left? I might be wrong. I haven't done Rotigus either. Rotigus and Kairos are the only two. Plastic Greater Demons that I haven't done. Resin Greater Demons would be... well, it would just be Carbanda. Is the only one I haven't done. Did Angron Transfigured ever come out? I know we saw him previewed a long time ago, but did he ever come out? I don't think I've ever seen that model be painted. Could be wrong. Two. A Moria video is gonna go nuts. Yeah, I've got Balrog and something like 36 goblins in my list for Moria. Depths of Moria. Because I wasn't planning on doing the other one. Oh, Cave Troll as well. Because there's the other one that has Cave Drakes in it, I think. But I wasn't planning on doing that one. Because the Balrog isn't in the other one. As I learnt the other day when I was looking through it. Balrog, Watcher, Cave Troll, and Moria Goblins. What of the Watcher? Don't you hate yourself? I think the Watcher can be in both. You know, this is the thing: is as I don't actually hate myself, and I don't want to make myself sad as I paint these models. You know, I want to enjoy my time. Also, question: isn't the Watcher in the water yet another brown on brown on brown on brown on brown? Yes. Okay. Cool. Just uploaded my Archaon too. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, that is an Archaon the Ever Chosen, if ever I've seen one. Very good. Very, very good. Well done. Not an easy model to paint, by any stretch of the imagination. I think that might be my crowning I didn't sub-assemble this glory moment. Yeah, I did that as a single thing. Right, Elrond, you can go next. We started at this end before, we shall start at the other end now. It's been a very eclectic playlist tonight, it must be said. Is Guai going to be in the rad list with Bear Boy or just the plain Eagles list? Just the plain Eagles list. I don't want to do Bear Boy or Radagast. I'm also not painting 4 different versions of Radagast. It's just not happening. I will paint one of him. So it'll probably be the one that's on the stupid chariot thing. But that is not on my top priorities at all. Just do the bunny one. Yeah, exactly. Like that's the one I would do. I'm not gonna ruin Guai here by putting Radagast on him. There's no way. Here's this Forge World resin sculpted eagle that you've not been able to get for ages. Right, now stick a terrible Finecast miniature on it. No. How many cans of primer do you think you've used this year, and what contrast paint would you say is the most temperamental / hardest to work with? How many cans of primer have I gone through this year? I could probably figure out a mathematical estimate, because we've painted 600, and on average a can will do 60 to 70 models depending on the models. So for example, I barely used a can of much of a can of Grey Seer to do all of this stuff, all of these MESBG models, because they're really, really tiny. So yeah, I'd probably say 7 or 8 cans of primer, probably. I could go and check my receipts, but I'm not pulling up my tax documents on the stream. I ain't going hunting. Yeah, probably 7 or 8 cans of primer this year. There's a bunch of stuff I've primed that I haven't shown on the screen. So like stuff like I have that 2,000 points of Ultramarines, for example, that's just sat there, which I hoped to do in December as well, but I don't think I'm going to. So again, just gonna take it a little bit easy over Christmas. I'm just gonna come home and immediately rattle off 35 Space Marines. Do something else instead. Equals 10. Well, yeah, but it's like an average of 60 to 70 models. So some cans will do a lot more and some cans will do a little bit less. It depends on what you spray. So, for example, there's 61 miniatures here. I know that I didn't use a full can to do these. I've still got the majority of that. Not majority of the can, but I've still got at least half a can left. So that can is actually probably going to push to sort of 80 or 90 models. But there'll be some times where you do, let's say, 5 Imperial Knights and you'll use most of a can to do that. picked a New Year's stream yet. No. I don't know if I'm going to do a New Year's stream this time. I might do it. I don't know. I need to figure out where my head's at after Christmas. Like if I've got the motivation to do it. Or if my time is better spent doing something else. Because there's a lot of time to spend just after the holiday period, as it were. Might put a video out. I don't know. Figure it out. Sure, I typed that before you said 7 to 8. Ah, fair enough. Already going back and forth between your Rohan Battle Host video and other videos to pass the time while I batch paint 12 riders of Rohan. Why not give you my full YouTube attention? Well, why not indeed? Why not indeed? So many. What we got? So we got 6, 12, 22, 32, 42, 43, 44, 50. So we've done 10 or 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. 62 models we're working on a minute. To be precise. Let's do our Warriors of Numenor and the King, Elendil, and Isildur himself. Next. Let's do that. That seems like a good idea. Cross it all off steadily. One section at a time. Just like when we're doing contrast painting. There we go. I'll tell you one list of MESBG I am actually quite interested in is Battle of Fornost. Because I like the idea of running Glorfindel, Aener, Knights of Minas Tirith, and Rivendell Knights. Just all cavalry all the time. The interesting thing, though, is that the Rivendell Knights don't have a foot option. So presumably you just use your Warriors of Rivendell for that. But the box art for Rivendell Knights, they're all in silver armor. So does that mean, theoretically, one has to paint a series of Warriors of Rivendell in silver, or do you paint the Knights gold? I think you paint the Knights silver. So we're going to require some spearmen to be painted in silver and black as well. So it's all annoying. Otherwise, when they're on horse, they suddenly change colour. It's magical armour, you see. Only need 100 plus goblins for Goblin Town. In the Goblin Town list, is that using the Hobbit goblins? And if so, are the Hobbit goblins horrible finecast? I will laugh my arse off if they are. Because that's the thing with Gundabad. It's like, oh, doing a Gundabad army opposite this Halls of Thranduil army that we've done. That would be really cool. No, it's all resin. Well, that's a no from Josh. Cameron, I just hit 50 models painted for the year. I might be quite a slow painter. No, 50 models is really productive for a year. No, it really is. Remember, as we always say around here, I do this all day, every day, and I have to do it. Otherwise, I can't eat. Because I can't afford anything. So that means that's why I do 600 models in a year. And 50 models is a good return when you live a normal life. They are plastic. Interesting. That genuinely surprises me. Because, like, for the Halls of Thranduil stuff, right? The Rangers are probably the funnest thing to paint, because they are plastic. They're a bit of an ass to build, if I recall. Because it's one of those ones where it doesn't come with any instructions at all. So it's like, well, what bit goes with what? But, how many non-channel models did Josh do? A better comparison. That would be very, 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 very few. I believe pretty much all of them were on the channel. There might have been 2 that weren't filmed. Maybe 2. Filmed or streamed. That weren't filmed or streamed. Actually, there's a few more. There were some prosecutors as well. There was 9 of them. 11. I'm trying to think. I think I've got 11. I'd aim to get the Tyranid side of Leviathan finished before the summer and the new edition. You got plenty of time to do that. It'll be June, July when the new edition drops. Possibly sometimes it's July, August. It's very... yeah. Yeah. Anytime within those 3 months. Do you ever feel like you'd much rather be painting an army to an army size, or do you prefer amassing 1.3k-ish like your Emperor's Children and World Eaters? Oh, that's a really good question. So, my view on it is... I currently have a world-class example of an inefficient Warhammer player's collection of miniatures. Currently, that's what I have. Right? Because you're right, I do have like 700 points here, 800 points there, 1.3k-ish there. Right? And that is completely and utterly correct. However, Games Workshop consistently releasing new models almost on a weekly basis, right? And I am not in a rush to play games of Warhammer with, for example, World Eaters. So, for World Eaters, naturally, I have the 8-bound, 10 Corn Berserkers, Lord Avocado, Angron, some Jackals, some Gore Chosen. Is that what they're called? Is that it? I have one of everything they've ever done for World Eaters, I'm sure. Anyway, point is, a new edition of 40k is on the way. So I have to... The way I've kind of positioned it with my collection of miniatures is that eventually, by nature of Games Workshop constantly releasing new miniatures, I will inevitably... And if you know, if I stay in the partner program, you never know. They might say, so long and thanks for all the fish. But by that logic, eventually I will have these things. I will have these things as finished products. So, buying everything I need to do 2,000 point armies of everything that I have is something that I often contemplate, but what I don't have is the time to do them. And when it comes to making videos, you can only film Corn Berserkers once. And if you need 60 of it, you can't make that video 6 times. So if it takes me, let's say, 3 days to paint 10, it means that to paint 20, it's going to take me 6 days. To paint 30, it's going to take me 9 days. 40, it's going to take me 12 days. 50, 15 days. And 60, 18 days. And in a period of 18 days, I would miss, because I'm sat painting Corn Berserkers over and over and over again for 18 days, I would miss about 3 weeks worth of content. So that would be a disaster for my channel, because I wouldn't be releasing any new videos, and the growth would stop, and the ad revenue would stop, and I wouldn't have the ability to pay the rent for very long if I did that sort of thing. So kind of the answer to your question is yes, and at the same time also no, because doing too much of one thing will drive me insane. Lord Avocado. Yeah, what's his name? Invocatus? Lord Invocatus? It's his full name, I think. I honestly can't remember. We never get a new Shelob video. Well, exactly. Yeah, so that's the thing, is like, if I linger too much on something, you just miss out on all that other stuff. All it takes is, as we discovered this year with Cathay, all it takes is a 2-week period where you fall behind, never catch up. So I never caught up with Cathay this year. you ever see a new army revealed and groan that you have to paint all the new models? I know I'd get pissed if I was forced to paint a Cathay army. What's wrong with a Cathay army? The models are gorgeous. Insofar as what has been released, no, that hasn't really happened. Not really. I'm sure it will. I realise it's a tall ask, but did you ever get the last 2 Cruel Boys units, or at least plan to finish off their range? I did get them. They are here somewhere. I bought them last time you asked. It's a couple of weeks back, I think. Yeah, they are here. I've got the Marsh Crawler Slogoth and what's his name? Swamp Boss Scumdrek? Is that the name? The Sludge Raker Beast. I hope I've got those. I hope I remember those correct. How would you feel about building the new Marauders reinforcement box set, let alone painting it? It's sitting next to me now like a lingering problem. I really wanted to do it. I didn't have time. I was doing Darkwater. The best advice I can give you for that box is, if you haven't already, go and watch my Dunlendings video. That is how you paint them. It's literally it's a perfect copy and paste. It's exactly the same sort of color palette, and the order of operations is very similar as well. It's like all that layered sort of cloth and fur and all that kind of thing. It's a perfect video for that. And maybe I'll get to them next year at some point. We'll have to see. We always pray for some downtime, but it doesn't happen very often. That sounds like the ones. Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing him on the channel in like a year or so then. Yeah, exactly. You know the score by now. I know I've painted 600 models this year, and that might seem like I've painted a lot, and I have painted a lot of models. That is correct. However, there's a lot of models I didn't paint this year. You know, they're a great example. Wolfguard Terminators, that's another one. Didn't manage to get them done. Again, they're just in the pile. And when it does, you paint brown for a week and a half. Exactly. Look, it's Christmas. And at Christmas, I was watching a Zorp video the other day, and he reminded me, because he was doing his Helm's Deep stuff, And he reminded me, core memory unlocked. Lord of the Rings at Christmas. And I was like, God damn it, he's right. Lord of the Rings at Christmas was such a thing. Well, for 3 years it was. It was a glorious time. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens next Christmas, but I'll have been to Ardacon at that point, and maybe I'll have been bullied so badly by all the really good players of MESBG that I never want to play it ever again. Do you ever use base/layer paints for models such as Land Raiders? I know you can paint flat panels with contrast and then glaze base paints for a smooth finish, but have you ever just said, screw it? If I ever had the time to just pop out a Land Raider off channel, maybe I would, but no. I genuinely love this way of painting. I don't just do this for the channel. I do this for everything. So if I was to sit down and paint a Land Raider, I'm not gonna just, you know, just not do it in the style that I like and I think I'm pretty good at. I just do this, I just do it the way I do it. Are the Living Rot tokens also going to be in the Maya Kelpies video? Yes, they are. Yes, they are in the same video. It's not two separate videos. You'll see why. Because there ain't a whole lot to them Maya Kelpies, I tell you now. Bone and sludge. Two main colours. I'm French, so I don't understand your live stream very well. However, thank you very much for your very inspiring videos. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you like them. Ugh. So many bases. Still so many to go. I am really sorry if this is the most boring stream you've ever seen of mine. Tufting and dry brushing. Just didn't have anything else to do, you know. Sometimes, YouTube, you just run out of ideas. So you just do whatever you have to. I could have not gone live. I didn't want to. This is going to be the last time before Christmas. Not quite the last time of 2025, but last time before Christmas. I've seen a more boring stream. Okay, good. I don't have the title yet. And the winner at the Streamer Awards of the most boring stream is that one time Josh stuck grass to bases. It's just an honour to be nominated and here at the Streamer Awards. Does it not have any glue on it? No. Okay. Cool. Dead tuft. Cool. What's your prediction for the Christmas Day reveals? I think it'll be Prince Uriel, personally. That's a real out there guess. Oh, actually, I suppose given as we are into 500 worlds territory, it could literally be anything now for 40k, couldn't it? Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Not a bad shout at all. Naturally, what I would like them to do on Christmas Day is reveal some gigantically beautiful, amazing Age of Sigmar model, but I suspect they won't. Could be another 500 Worlds model. Could be a Primarch. That could be something that also gets announced. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, really. I just like to be surprised. Like last year. Nothing else to do. Has complained about lack of time to paint the Smurfs. Yeah, but like, so the to defend my honor, the Ultramarines video I have planned is painting an army. It's not Contrast plus how to paint Ultramarines Terminators. I'm not doing that with them. We've done several Ultramarines videos, and I no doubt will paint more Ultramarines in the future. But for that video, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make it an army painting video. And if I don't have time to paint the army, I don't want to half start it. It really annoys me in my workflow when I've got like 12 clips of one model. And because there's like 30 models in that project, it's basically a case of if I have 2 to 3 weeks to sit and do it, I'll crush that video straight away. But like, yeah, as it stands at the moment, I don't have that time. And so like getting halfway through a set of Terminators, and then it's like, oh yeah, but there's still 10 more Terminators, 10 Stern Guards, some Victrix on a guard, 4 or 5 characters, and all that still to go. It's like, oh, then my motivation just gets killed for it. And like I said, I don't want to do a series of just individual painting tutorials on the same scheme over and over and over and over again. For the Ultramarines, which is why it's an army painting video. So it's still a painting video, but it's a painting video about how to paint an army rather than a sort of unit by unit type thing. Because like I said, there isn't any variation between. There's no functional difference between the scheme for assault Terminators and normal Terminators. The only difference is the weapons. That is it. So releasing that video twice in a row in a week is like, feels bad to me. It doesn't feel like a good use of channel resources. So doing one big video like we've done here with the Halls of Thranduil is a better idea. And with the Last Alliance. Because a video that's how to paint the Last Alliance, not Contrast plus how to paint Warriors of Numenor with spears. There's a video that's got, like, A, enough duration to be worthy of being a video, and B, something that I think people will watch because it's like a one-stop shop. As it were. But how do we paint Numenor warriors with bows? You don't. Not for the Last Alliance. Why would you take Numenorians with bows when you've got the far superior elves with bows literally in the same list. It's a silly idea. Now, if we were doing how to paint a Numenor army, the scheme is exactly the same as the Spearmen. There you go. That's how you paint them. How do you pick which models to paint? Do you receive close to every new release from GW? I receive quite a few of them, yeah. I don't receive every single one. But I receive a fair chunk. And typically that is what dictates what I paint. When I don't have something from GW and I don't have a video in the locker, as it were. So like now, like December. What I do is I just go in order of I have this big long list of stuff to do that people have asked for, slash, you know, the odd thing like the top Patreon rewards models, which is what the Green Knight, the Big Mech, the Sorcerer, and Titus are. They're Patreon models. I have a long list of things to do that I will do in order of importance slash relevance. So, for example, whilst I don't have anything for Horus Heresy, they did announce the Breaches and that thing box set. That's coming this next week. So I don't have that, but if it was a normal month where I wasn't, you know, taking most of this week off because of Christmas, I would see that announcement. I'd be like, right, let's do a Primarch, or do all 3 Primarchs for that week. If that makes sense. Because it's in the conversation then. If people are looking up how to paint Horus Heresy Breaches, you know, and then I upload Mortarion, at least it comes up because people are talking about it. People are talking about and searching for Horus Heresy. But it's not a normal month, so I don't have time to swap to doing a Primarch this week. So we're just gonna let it be. Any update on the Great Warhipster car boot sale / clear out of models? Well, there's no update on our move, so no. Unfortunately. I'm going to get the tufts on these last 10, and then we're going to call it a day there. So, if anybody has any final questions, compliments, super chats, memberships, gifted memberships, if anyone has any of that they want to do before Christmas, now's your time. You have until I have put tufts on 10 Mirkwood Rangers. You can still super thank on videos. Yes, that is true. You can, if you wish to, you can leave super thanks on videos. That is also an option. I forgot about that. Eight more. Do you use test models for schemes like the magical green metal for Darkwater, or do you just try it out on a random model beforehand? No, I had a feeling I knew what I was going to do, so I just go straight in. Don't really do test models. We just have multiple years of experience of using these paints. So roughly know what it's going to look like when we try stuff. And turns out I was right. So yeah, just doing it live. Favorite gods, chaos gods, demons to do. Corn is always quite fun because it's just a lot of red. Invariably, it's a lot of red, black, and brass. It's a very simple, elegant color palette for corn demons. I'm always very satisfied with the results of Nurgle demons, but they are a little bit more intensive. There's a lot of like blended greens and stuff. Like green is a tricky color for me. I don't know what it is, but like getting the right tone of green, I sometimes don't always get it exactly how I want it. Because the greens are all slightly different. Some of them look very similar, but they do interact very differently with each other, especially when you start layering on the greens. But like, I was really pleased with the green that we got here on these Mirkwood elves. We got a couple of different greens going on here, like you know, so Tauriel, for example, she's Dark Angel's green followed by Militarum. She's a little bit darker than the troops, because I wanted to push the highlights on her, so therefore she's a bit darker. Whereas for the troops, the green is slightly different, with thinned down Dark Angel's green and thinned down... no, Militarum green is not thinned in that one. But for Legolas, similar thing. It's kind of like, we've learned all of this from doing the Rangers, then Tauriel, so now we have Legolas. And I was really pleased with the final result of the green on these. Are you getting your assembled resin Titan for Christmas? No, Pete said February is what he's aiming for. The only thing Titanic about my Christmas will be the Christmas dinner I consume. For I am a fat man. Who requires many foods. And knowing my luck this year, I'll probably break a tooth on it, but it'll be worth it. Seven. 3 left. Will you be painting the Snow Troll and Orcs? I like the War of the Rohirrim painting videos and paint prints. Haleth? Is that what you were asking for? I've done Haleth. And Hammer. And Hera. And Helm. I haven't done Freyalaf yet. Or Leaf. Or Olwyn. Again, they were on the optimistic in December list. But we are running out of time. Prince Haleth. Yeah, we've done that video. That video is already out. Haleth and Hammer. Both versions of Helm. Both versions of Hera. As for the question about the Snow Troll, yeah, it's I need to do it. I just haven't yet. Again, time dependent. Last one. Number 10. Favorite MESBG model all time and separate lore character. Maybe the Theoden sword gives that away. Yeah, I love Theoden as a character in the books, the films. The model's quite nice. But yeah, no, Theoden's importance in the story is very special to me. I love who he is. I love his betrayal by Bernard Hill. Most things Rohirrim, to be honest, sit in my favourite things of all things Lord of the Rings. But yeah, the Rohirrim would be, I would say. Well, ladies and germs, just got the rims to do, which I shall do after my dinner. But it is time for us to conclude the proceedings for tonight. So, I won't see you on Wednesday, because we're not going live on Christmas Eve. But there is going to be a painting video tomorrow. It's going to be Contrast Plus, How to Paint, Darkwater, Maya Kelpies, and Treasures. So, concluding the Darkwater coverage. We've done all of the dry brushing. We've done all of the tufts. That's 2 hours well spent, I think. So, yeah, good stuff. 62 models. Not bad. Not bad going in 2 hours. The rims will probably take me another hour, hour and a half. What's the Thursday video? Thursday video, I'm not sure yet. It's going to be one of this lot. I've got to spend basically most of Tuesday editing. Which is going to be a bit of a bummer, but there we go. I did have it written down. Content. Yep, that's done, that's done, that's done. So yeah, we'll probably put a video out on Christmas Eve. We probably won't put something out on Christmas Day because, you know, you guys are off enjoying Christmas or working or doing whatever it is on Christmas. Watching a video that I put up on Christmas, it just makes that video sad. That video just goes, I've got 6 views. So Thursday, it could be... No, Thursday's Christmas. Is it? Anyway. Still to come for the rest of the year, we have Maya Kelpies and Treasures, Lieutenant Titus, the Big Mech, the Green Knight, Hermetic Blade Sorcerer, The Last Alliance, the Halls of Thranduil, and our very first airbrushing video, which I'm going to be filming when I come home from Christmas. But I'm off now, so I will see you all very soon in the next one. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you very much for the gifted memberships. Very kind of you, GameX, and very kind of you, Bruni. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for becoming a member as well. The Death Guard Tyrant. It's very kind of you. And I will see you all after Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas. And if I don't speak to you before then, have a Happy New Year. And thank you very much for your support this year. Peace. Roll on 2026. It's nearly here. It's nearly done. Bye.